I just sent you the link. We can talk about some of the new qualifications for the trucking world. And you can talk way more intelligently than I can about it. As a matter of fact, you are kind of like my source for trucker news. So, and that I appreciate. I have tried crushed cloves. I've tried smoking every possible thing you can imagine, even grass in the backyard, believe it or not. What do I think about Michael Obama? Here's my answer. I do think space is fake. I believe there's a firmament that's made of water. There's a water dome over the earth. All right, everybody. Here we go. We have Kristina with us. Hey, Kristina, how's it going?
Okay, what am I in for tonight?
We had a guy that was talking about getting the jab in order to drive. What is your experience with getting the jab as a prerequisite for driving truck? Everybody, this is Kristina. Say hello, Kristina. She's an over the road. Is that the word, Kristina? Would I call you an over the road driver? You're not like delivering lumber supplies and then back for dinner. You're not like back home for dinner at 5 o'clock. You are on the road for days at a time, going from state to state to state, right? You live in the cab of your truck, and so you are a legit trucker, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, for the truckers that are on, some people were wondering about that. What is your experience so far with the jab?
Well, so far they have not made us do anything. Okay, they being Schneider, that's who I work for right now. Basically there was a date, I think it was January 1st maybe, that they're supposed to readdress it. Their stance is we're not going to force it right now, basically. like they're gonna fight it as long as they can, and so basically postpone it as much as they can until
Mm-hmm.
and I had brought up to my dispatcher, I was like, what if they start fining you until you do comply? And basically he was saying, if we do that, we're going to lose at least 20% of our truckers. So it's in their interest to fight
Mm-hmm.
this as long as they can. But because this is a big mega company, they're way over that 100 employee limit. So
Mm-hmm.
my strategy is to go to a company that has less than 100 employees, and I've gone like way, way low on this one. This is pretty low for employees. Even the owner is the driver, so it's going to be so low that unless he himself wants to press this issue with us, which I doubt since he's hurting for drivers as it is,
Yeah.
I don't see that happening. So I think by going with a small company like this, I will be in the clear. But, obviously I can't say 100% because if they push it through on the DOT side, Department of Transportation, that's a whole nother area, but I have not heard anything about the DOT pushing it.
Let me ask you this. Remember that thing that I sent you that, like, if they make it happen, 250,000 truckers are going to walk off their job. Is that, are they exaggerating, or do you think that's true? What are your thoughts about that?
Everybody I've personally talked to, obviously, I don't know that many people. That's a huge population there.
Hmm.
Everyone that I've spoken to on a personal level, none of them want anything to do with it. So
Yeah.
I would guess, of course, you're putting them in a hell of a spot. A lot of us live in the truck. Not all of us
Hmm.
have an actual residence. Um, and those that do, a lot of their paycheck is going towards that. So, you're putting them in a spot where, it's their money maker. And how are they going to pay for
Yeah.
rent or mortgage or whatever? And,
Yeah.
a lot of the truckers are married and have a family. So, it can go both ways there. But people with like me that have less to lose, less on the line to lose, I don't have anybody to support, then I can fight for my rights and
Hmm.
freedoms. Whereas somebody else, like I can't knock somebody that's in that position and needs to support their family. If they feel they need to do it, I mean, I'm not going to talk bad about them for that.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's basically it's your choice. It should be your choice. But the way this is being handled by our administration, it's putting people in a rock and a hard place.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Well, um, finding out very quickly in the past few months, especially after being friends with you, that truckers are some of the most awakened people. Like, you don't believe a lot of bullshit. They seem to be very based, and you're just not believing all the hype. What is it about truckers that keep them so based, keep them so grounded in reality and not believe all the bullshit? What do you think it is?
It might just be the personality type that draws to this kind of job because, a lot of people wouldn't adjust well to this kind of lifestyle. So it attracts certain people, I would think.
Yeah.
Um,
Independent, like, a lot of people think like independent thinking is the domain of like academic intellectuals and all this stuff. And I'm finding that independent thinking is not owned by the academic world. Independent thinking, um, I'm finding, is can be found in a lot of different industries. Trucking is one of those industries. That is a lot of free thinkers there. And I started a lot of my vlogging in the past couple months. Some of my on the road vlogging while I'm driving my little pickup truck, I start out by saying, good morning, free thinkers. And that has really taken off. A lot of people like that. And those that aren't free thinkers, they're almost offended at the fact that I greet people as free thinkers. It's crazy.
I I personally like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
don't want to be the sheep.
right. Right. Well, you have a confidence and independence. The confidence is a good thing, and I think that's one of the reasons why you make such a good guest on the channel when you come on like this, is that you're just ready to talk about issues of freedom and independence and such. Because I mean, seriously, truckers are the modern cowboy. You're out, cowboys out on the range, taking herds of cattle hundreds and hundreds of miles, and well, think about this. Before there were truckers, what was there? There were cowboys, people that were herdsmen, that kind of thing, bringing product like that. I mean, you are the modern cowboy, so to speak.
Why am I thinking Bon Jovi right now?
Well, unless you ride a steel horse, I don't know. You don't have a steel horse, do you?
No, I tried and failed the guitar thing when I was a kid.
Well,
I was
it's what's funny about the song "Dead or Alive." That song is one of the best running songs. I used to run in Valley Forge Park many, many years ago. When that song first came out, that song is at such a great tempo that I would actually run to the beat of that song. And it got to the point where my adrenaline was so pumped up, I was so in the zone, I would like, now, this is how old I am. I just couldn't hit the back button. I'd have to hit the rewind button and rewind the cassette because I had that on cassette. And I had a Sony, what the heck was that with the little cassette player? Little handheld cassette, Sony Walkman, it was
on the
called.
Walkman. Yeah, I had one.
Yeah, yeah. And I'd hit the rewind button, but I had the advanced one that it actually stopped at the beginning of the song, so I didn't have to like keep hitting play. So there were times when I would hit that rewind button maybe three times. And how long is a song? Maybe 4 minutes or something like that. The average song is about four. So that was a good 12 minutes of just running to that beat. If you can just picture the song in your head. And I was taking long strides. That was a great, it didn't matter too, because Valley Forge Park, National Park, has a lot of like hills that go down and up. And I did not slow down one bit when it came to that song. There was my three favorite bands for when I used to run. I made people make mixtapes. I had a mixtape that I made of Bon Jovi, ZZ Top, Aerosmith, and this actually was in the days before Metallica. And then my later mixtapes had a few Metallica songs, but ZZ Top, Bon Jovi, and Aerosmith are the best running songs ever. They're incredible.
I remember the 8 tracks where, like, I'd be listening to Pink Floyd The Wall on an 8 track, and I had to wait the whole time for it to go back to rewind.
Oh, I hate, it's so funny. My father had an 8 track, and I think we had some Elton John on it. My mother got some Elton John. Trying to think what other 8 track songs. Elton John. I remember I had a George Carlin comedy tape on 8 track at one time.
Oh,
This was in the
cool.
70s. It was crazy. But that was a big deal. It was an AM/FM 8 track player. So that was pretty wild.
Yeah,
But
we used to have. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
We used to have the stereo player. It looked like a coffin. It's this big wooden box, and you lift
Yeah.
the lid up. It would have the record player, the 8 track, and then like a big dial radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that. My dad would bring home like boxes of 45s and 8 tracks for me to play with. That was like my thing, to just listen to music.
Oh, that was great. I have found that Bon Jovi songs, like if you got like a best of Bon Jovi, that would be like one of the ultimate running tapes of all time. The other one would be, I'm trying to think, it was an Aerosmith album. Jeez, go back to the late 80s, early 90s. What did Aerosmith, maybe some people in the audience
Permanent Vacation?
No, I know the name. It was the album that had Jamie's Got a Gun, Love in an Elevator, Pump. That album, Pump, has if you get the best of Bon Jovi and you get Aerosmith Pump, just that alone will be a great running. Like there's your workout right there. No doubt. Because the beat on all of those songs is great for running. Fantastic for running. Yeah, Pump was a great album. That was a great album. And then I remember my brother made me a mixtape that had Rage Against the Machine, Cypress Hill.
Cypress Hill, man, I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah, yeah. Was Cypress Hill the band that did the song Jump?
No, wasn't that House of Pain or something like that?
Yeah, House of Pain. Yeah. So it was that mixtape had Cypress Hill, House of Pain, Rage Against the Machine, and that was early 90s. That was like 92, 93, 94, somewhere in there. But yeah. Yeah, but House of Pain is a great running. That's another great running tape as well. Like their first album was a great, great one. Yeah, Rage Against the Machine is now Rage for the Machine. What a bunch of pussies they turned out to be, right? Holy crap.
I
Oh,
didn't realize that.
They were so anti-establishment, they were so counterculture. Now they're the most, it's like Sheep and the Machine. It's unbelievable. They're actually embarrassing. Actually embarrassing. Van Halen was good, but they're not good. They weren't good for running. They were not good for running. I literally the ZZ Top album that has Legs, Sharp Dressed Man. That album is another great running album.
I think it was Eliminator. Is that it?
Yes, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Kilo says Sammy Hagar or David Lee Roth. Both. I like Sammy Hagar in Van Halen. I like David Lee Roth in Van Halen. I can't compare them. It was like two different bands. It was like, do you like Van Halen in the Sammy Hagar era or the David? I like both. I was raised with the David Lee Roth era. Not raised. I mean, they came out when I was in college. I mean, I played at the college radio station. I played Running with the Devil and Jamie's Crying. Yeah, I got mixed up with Jamie's Got a Gun and Jamie's Crying, but yeah. I liked Journey before they got popular, before they were like on all the pop music. Journey started out as like alternative music. If you go way back to City of the Angels, like that kind of stuff, to me, that's my favorite. After that, they were good, but they lost me. They lost me after they, like, there was a time when, like, well, Beavis and Butthead would call it college music. They'd say college music. and I agreed with that. Back when only college radio stations would play Journey, the old Journey, and that kind of stuff. But usually I liked any of the music that Beavis and Butthead had on their show. Sounds weird, but I was a big fan of Beavis and Butthead and Ren and Stimpy. What did you like better?
I'd have to say Beavis and Butthead, but Ren and Stimpy was very unique and hilarious. I would have to watch those again. It's been so long.
What was your favorite Beavis and Butthead sketch? What would you say were your favorite sketches?
Oh boy. I liked it when they were at the fast food joint. It was like a McDonald's, but they called it something else. Burger World or something.
Yeah.
But I liked that part where they're like deep frying the mice and shit.
They were covering the issues that like South Park is covering, today and recently. So back then, a lot of people think a lot of that humor was just all perverted, 14-year-old humor, but it wasn't unsimilar to Bugs Bunny, Looney Tunes, which if you watch anything Bugs Bunny, Wile E. Coyote, that's all very adult humor.
Yeah. I love Wild E. Coyote. Genius. That was hilarious.
My favorite Beavis and Butthead, probably my two favorite episodes were when like a hurricane was coming and Butthead says, "Hey Beavis, let's go to the trailer park." And I just thought that because you always hear that like tornadoes hit the trailer parks really hard, and that's where they wanted to go. That was pretty funny. And then one of my favorite lines of all time was when they were watching Tools. Remember the little meat guy? What was the? I know you know the video. What was it called?
Sober.
Sober. When they were watching Sober, and at the end of the video, there's that little stop motion creature, and his hand is going. He's going like this, and
Yeah.
and Beavis says, "If I could move my hand that fast, I'd never leave the house." And that has got to be one of the funny to this day. If I saw that, I would die. I would still die. Yep. Pretty funny. Andrew says to you, Kristina, how many coyotes do you think have lost a fight with your truck?
I don't believe that I've killed any or roadrunners. I love roadrunners. They're cool.
And well, and also too, to clarify for the audience, your runs are between Utah and California. So what states are you in the most?
Definitely California. And let's see. Nevada and Arizona, I would say those are the top three.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever go through Winslow, Arizona?
Winslow. Whereabouts is that?
I have no idea, but from what I understand, there's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford slowing down to take a look at me. That's all I know.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Arizona's beautiful. I love going there.
Yeah. That's funny. Someone says to me, "What happened to no pipe for a month?" Well, this is the first pipe that I've had in a week, and I totally gave in. I wasn't going to have a pipe for Advent, but the heck with that. So maybe I'll have another pipe next week. Maybe I'll go to one pipe a week. I don't know. So Mike says, I drive a train and I've lost count of the deer that I hit. Yeah, man. Those deer, it's interesting. A lot of people, if you ever hit a deer, ever hit an animal, they go flying. It's not like they just go to the ground. They fly. It's like they go through the air. It's weird. Joe says, I want to run Utah, Arizona, Nevada, Idaho. That would be a route.
I hardly ever see Idaho. Very rare, but I have been there a few times. Considering Utah is where we're stationed, the only time I come here is when I have to come to the OC Operations Center. So you would think I'd come here more often, but I don't.
Interesting. All right. So when do you go back on the road? Are you taking a rest now?
I have to take a 34-hour reset. So basically,
how far are you into your 34 hours?
I started at like 1 p.m. today. So 24 hours would be 1 p.m. tomorrow, and then another 10, and then I can run. We just set it for 1.
So you can't run until like 9 or 10 tomorrow night.
Right. And I told him to set it for 1 a.m. Just because that's a good time. I'm awake that time.
Yeah, yeah. Are you willing to give us a tour of your truck right now?
I'm not sure if I can turn it around. Like the camera, I don't know if I can turn it around.
I don't know if you can either.
Uh,
I don't I don't know.
Last time we did last time we did this, I couldn't even read the comments. So
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I think there's a button I can push for it, but I think it takes up the whole screen.
Well, you can do that if you want. If not, I'll
Oh,
just bring you back.
well, let me look and see if it'll work.
And then narrate, tell people what they're looking at when you show them.
Oh yeah, see when I bring up chat, it totally takes me out of there.
Oh, all right. So then you'll have to hold it and kind of show people what your cab looks like then.
So kind of like this.
Okay. So it's a pretty big, you're all right, you're in the back of the truck right now,
Yeah, I
and
have the
you're on the bottom bunk, and there's a bunk above you that kind of can come down.
yeah right here. That's the ladder, and it can flip down. And that's for like if you're teaming with somebody, or say a married
Mm-hmm.
couple runs together, then they share.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you're not technically supposed to sleep up there while the truck's running though,
Oh, okay.
because you could fall and hurt yourself.
So is that
So
where I would be? Is that where I would be on the top bunk?
if you wanted to.
Now, the cab area is separated from the like the bunk. Do you call your area the bunk area? What is that called? Where you're at now?
I just call it the sleeper.
The sleeper area. Okay. So there's a curtain between the sleeper and the cab area, like where the seats are.
Right, where you drive. So you have
Can you show us
let's
so we don't
see.
have to use our imagination?
These are the curtains. And then
Are they blackout curtains? Like if it's like during the day, do they make your sleeper area pretty dark?
yeah, it'll totally black it out. I mean, you'll get a tiny bit of light, but not it's pretty black for daytime. And then
Okay.
it's really hard to do it like this, but there's the you can see the controls. That's where I drive. But
Okay. So that's
I have
yeah.
curtains there too, so it'll black out the front and then the back.
So you have a curtain over the windshield as well that slides across?
Right, so like when it's really hot and sunny out, the curtains will keep it won't keep it cold in here, but it helps like when you have the AC going, it'll keep from the from getting too hot.
Right. Right. Okay. Now, can you stand up in that where you're at?
Oh yeah. I'm 5'6" and there's a ceiling.
Oh, wow. So you are, so all right. So that's a lot taller than I thought. So you don't always have to be crouching down all the time. You can actually like stretch a little bit in there.
Right, there's plenty of headroom because
Yeah.
mostly guys are gonna be.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Now, where you're sitting on now, is that a mattress or do you bring a mattress down to sleep on?
it's just here, like it's already there, and so the
So,
other one you would have to pull down, but this
okay.
one's already set up, ready to go, and then you can flip it up to get to storage stuff.
So right now it's like you're sitting on the edge of a bed. Simple as that, right? That's what's
Yeah,
happening.
yeah, it's
Okay.
like a twin bed, kind of like that.
Okay. And then underneath, what kind of storage is that? Just like your clothing and food and that kind of stuff?
Underneath, there's two side compartments that you can get from the outside, and what I keep there is stuff strictly for work stuff, um, like triangles, safety triangles in case I'm broke down,
Right.
oil, stuff like that. That all I keep on the sides, and then
Okay.
the center, I just keep overstock stuff like supplies,
Hmm.
and then I have my cabinets here where I put the clothes, and then I have
Okay.
one up here above the microwave. This is for the food, and then I have
You have a mic. You have a
a
microwave.
fridge. Yeah, a microwave and a fridge. I don't know. Yeah, here it is. There's a
Oh,
fridge here, and this is like a drawer.
okay. That's cool. All right. So it's bigger than I thought. That's cool. Now, as far as when you got to do bathroom stuff, um, that's what truck stops are for, right? You get your showers there.
Yeah, they have the bathrooms and the showers separate areas. So like they have the regular
Okay.
bathrooms, and then the showers are locked, and you punch in a code to get in there.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Now, do these trucks have like a key fob that you lock the truck, or do you manually lock the doors?
I use my key, and I lock it with the key when I leave. That way I'm not accidentally leaving the key inside the truck.
Okay.
So, when you
Excellent.
go to lock it from the outside. That was a
Excellent.
trick my trainer taught me, because he's like, you don't want to accidentally lock your keys in there.
Yeah, right. Now, is it a like a universal key? The key that you open your doors with also opens up the other like little compartments and stuff?
Um, I basically only have the door
What
locks.
about the isn't there a door on the outside that goes to one of your compartments?
Oh, what you do there is like when you open the door to get in, there's like a lever on the side by the driver's seat that
Okay.
you pull the lever and it'll open it. So there's no
So
key
let me
for
ask,
that.
so like when you're sleeping, do you ever hear anyone like trying the door handle, in the middle of the night on the outside?
It's not very often, but it can get confusing because all the trucks look exactly the same. So
Right.
it can happen. I've accidentally tried to open somebody else's door before, and I'm like, oh, this ain't mine.
Right.
You got to either look at the number, or if you're using your key and the key's not working, it's probably you got the wrong try.
Right. Right.
um,
What is the
so
brand of
yeah,
your truck? One person asked, "Do you drive a Peterbilt?"
nope. I have a Freightliner Cascadia. I have driven a Pete before, but that was with a different company.
All right.
They're set up a little different.
Are you right now in a line of trucks at a stop right now?
I'm at my home terminal, and so it's a mixture of just drop trailers and then some other people that are here for the night. So
I see. Okay. Okay. What what is the temperature outside right now where you are? You're in California or no, or Utah right now?
I'm in Utah. I'm
Okay.
thinking
So
I'm thinking it's in the 40s. It was getting pretty cold.
a little chilly
Like
then.
I
Okay.
saw a little bit of frost when I came in this morning. So
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So let me ask you this then. We have 130 people watching. Does anyone want to see what the outside of the truck looks like? Let's see. Ian Simmons, good evening, George. I asked this question on your Pivot Part 2 video, but I'll ask it here. Go ahead, Ian. And then Kristina will show us the outside of the truck. Ask me your question, and thank you for the super chat.
let me get my coat on. going to drop you for a sec.
That's fine. Joseph says, truckers keep America alive. I do believe that. Thank you for the super chats. Let's see. Ian says, do I feel as though you would be a good corporate manager, or would that be too rigid of a structure for the way you operate? I could be a good corporate manager, but I'm not really a good yes man, because I'm the kind of guy that I'm not afraid to tell people to kiss my ass. And that's probably one of my weaknesses, is that I just I guess I'm too much of a lone wolf. Too much of a lone wolf. Yeah. All right. So Kristina is showing us the outside of her truck. Give us a tour.
Okay, man, it's hard to do it backwards. I'm trying.
That's huge. That's a big truck.
Let me see if I can switch it, but I don't think so. Nope.
Nope.
Okay. Sorry.
All right. So do you have a trailer hooked up?
Yep. Okay, this is the front. So I look really short next to it. Yeah, there's a trailer hooked up right behind it, the big orange.
Is it empty, or does it have freight in it?
Right now it's empty. I was gonna have the shop look at something. I'm getting a weird error message, so they have to look at it tomorrow. They couldn't get to it today, so I had disconnected from the trailer earlier, but since they're not gonna get to it, I just backed back into it, and I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay. Corrado Palmerini gives a $49.99 super sticker. Thank you, sir, for that. That is appreciated. Yep.
So
Polish. Go ahead. Tell us.
Those are the side panels.
All right. So that goes into your little compartment inside your sleeper area.
Yep. So you can get it from this way, or inside you can lift up the bed and get to it either way.
And what is above that then?
That one's like up higher where I'm actually sleeping next to. So I guess it could be like an egress. I don't know. Okay. I've never used it. But I'm guessing that would be an extra exit. I don't know.
I see. Okay. Patton says, toot the horn. Yeah, but there's people sleeping right now, so you probably don't want to do that, I'm guessing.
Right. They wouldn't be too happy.
Katie Garcia says, you're so pretty. Be careful out there.
Thank you.
She is a pretty girl. Yes, she is. Andrew says, that's a beast of a truck. Respect, Kristina. David, the luxurious bastard, says, what a great and honest laugh. Kevin says, emergency exit. Yep. California Kid asks you a question. How hard was a test for a Class A license?
It's not that bad. If you there's apps you can download, like practice tests, and if you just basically just go through it over and over again, you'll memorize it. And then, so when you go to take the real test, they might word it just a tad differently, but it's basically the same thing. And so if you can just nail those apps down, you can take it and pass no problem.
Okay.
And they have, there's several of them. I downloaded 3 different ones and just studied. Like, it'll be like a normal test. It'll ask you a question, you answer it, and it'll tell you the right answer. And you can take it as many times as you want.
So it's like a regular driver's test. There's a written part, and then there's the actual part where you're behind the wheel.
Right. I did the written stuff. They'll want you to do all that on your own to get a permit. And then once you have the permit, then they will train you. And so like for me, the first month was me with the trainer was beside me and training me from there, or he was driving and I was observing. And so that
Let me ask you this. So your original road test, is the person who's the test giver, are they in the cab with you watching you do your maneuvers, or are they on the outside watching you drive in between cones and backing up and that kind of thing?
They're outside for the portion of the backing, but they're inside for the drive test.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Here we have a question not related to Kristina. George, my life is falling apart in the last year or so. My wife had 27 years left while I was at work, and we are at the tail end of divorce. I lost everything: home, job, car, dog, and kids. Tim, you can write me, email me, gb@georgebruno.com. I work with guys like you all the time. Definitely. Ian Simmons says, that's a nice trailer. I would love to do that, just trucking along with no worries. Do you agree with that? It's kind of like a worry-free kind of job. Would you say that?
I mean, there's stressful parts of it, but there's long stretches where it's just, you're relaxed and looking at the mountains and you're kind of thinking about whatever. So it's a mix, but I would definitely say there's relaxing times.
And you are pretty much like mountains and desert. Like, you're not driving through a lot of cities, are you?
Right. Most of it along the way is, and then obviously there's portions you got to go through that aren't, but it's a good mix. I mean, a lot of times you're just out in the open road.
I gotcha. California Kid asks, would you recommend truck driving as a career?
I think if your personality fits, you have to be cool with being alone and like handling your business, and it's not for people that like to be micromanaged, for sure.
Right. Dr. Raymond Barnett says, good evening, everyone. Every trucker I've ever known loved trucking. Yeah, that's Raymond Barnett, the strongest man I know. I don't know anyone stronger than him. Physically, I don't know a man stronger than Raymond Barnett. 60, Ray, you're going to have to tell me again, 66, 67 years old. I know you got a few years on me, but you are the strongest man I know. Joe Cruz says, respect for the women out there grinding it. Josh says, George, I got unstuck thanks to your videos and advice in 2017. Went to truck school, got unstuck. Thank you, sir, for the inspiration. I now have a solid career. Let's see. Joseph says, have you ever driven up the Northway, I-87, in the Adirondacks of New York State?
Never been east yet.
Okay, so you've been just a West Coaster so far, driving.
Correct.
Okay. Corrado says she's adorable. That is true. You. Joe Cruz says, yeah, winter Colorado I-70 coming down. Okay. Raymond Barnett is 68 years old. Okay, I was wrong. I know I forget from interview to interview. Raymond Barnett, the strongest man I know, is 68 years old. So any of you young bucks moaning and groaning about life, I don't want to hear it. Raymond Barnett is the strongest man I know, and he's 68 years old. 68. Yep. Oh, here's a good question. Who won that ball game asks, are truckers in today's world more health conscious than in the past?
Hmm. Uh, I would say it's the minority is worried about it. Because I still see a lot of, people way out of shape. I don't. It's very rare that I see like other truckers working out. It's once in a while.
And when you work out, what do? You work out with weights? Do you sprint? What do? You run? What is your you do body weight stuff, push-ups? What is your
Yeah, a mix of that. It'll be lifting weights, push-ups. Um, let's see. Yeah, some running. Usually end up running in a rest area or a truck stop, so it's not like
Mhm.
running miles or anything. So it's more productive to do like sprints, on off sprints.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, let me ask you this. All right. So you don't have like a family waiting at home for you. Like you're not on your days off, you're not like going somewhere and saying, "Honey, I'm home."
correct.
Pretty much the road is your home. How do you deal with that type of aloneness? I mean, knowing you the way that I do, I know that you deal with it pretty well. But let me you using your words telling the audience, how do you deal with being out on the road alone? And even when you have time off, it's not like you're going back home and sleeping in your own bed. You're not doing that.
Right. So basically, I would have to get like a motel or before when I was taking my S10 location home, I would like camp out in the S10 or whatever. So I'm used to being alone all the time, so it doesn't really I don't think it affects me as much as it would affect other people that are like constantly need
Yeah,
that energy from other people.
right,
Um,
right.
to me, it's like you get that 5 minutes of dealing with the shipper receiver person, and
Hmm.
that's enough for me.
Yeah, okay.
Or or the cashier at the Flying J, you get like 2 minute conversation there, and I
Yeah.
mean it's. I mean, I
Here's a
guess if you really wanted more, you could like reach out to other truckers, but then, as me being a woman, that's opening Pandora's box.
yeah. Do other truckers ever want to just Netflix and chill
With me or just in
or
general?
with you? Do they say, "Hey, let's go back to my truck and Netflix and chill"?
Well, they've put in to kind of like that. It was had like a stalker moment where I was at this. It was back when I was training. My trainer was in the truck, and I had just taken a shower, so I was outside of the pilot. It was in Arizona, and I was just fucking around on the phone, and trying to get some alone time. And this trucker comes up to me, and he maybe had like 5 words to say to me, like, "Hello, what's your name? Where are you from?" type of thing. And then he immediately goes to, "Well, do you want to come to my truck and like watch TV or whatever, and something lame like that." I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Like, I'm not a lot lizard, I'm a trucker. And
Yeah.
the dude literally followed me around the whole Pilot J. I went up to the fast food manager, cashier, whatever, and I said, "Can you help me get rid of this dude? He won't leave me alone." And so the guy
Mm.
tried to distract them, and I fucking bolted back to my truck. And
Okay.
I could hear, like, after I got inside the truck, I could hear somebody like tugging on the handle to get in, and I'm like, holy fuck. And my trainer's like,
Yeah.
what? I'm like,
Yeah.
some dude's fucking trying to fucking, I don't know, like
So he,
kidnap
so
me
he,
or something.
so he, so the guy didn't have much game, so to speak.
Anybody's like chasing, literally chasing you when you've already
Yeah.
said, get the fuck off, you know?
Yeah. 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 Loser. Total loser.
That's stalker mode. I don't
Yeah.
like that.
Right. Here's a question for Kristina. Would you ever consider pulling doubles or triples?
Oh man. I was talking about that today with my the safety manager was doing the drive test today, and he was talking about his buddy going back to FedEx, and I'm like, ooh, doubles and triples. I It makes me nervous. Just I'm getting used to the 53 footer now, but doubles and triples I think would freak me out because you can't just get out of situations very easily. Like it's not as easy to back up, and you pretty much have to park where you can just drive out. I'm
Hmm.
sure people that have done it for a long time have certain skills to get out
Yeah.
of situations, but I would be worried that I would get in a pickle somewhere
Yeah.
down the line.
Sure. California Kid says, do truckers still use CB radios?
Uh, Not near as many as the old days. There's still a few that will use it as a tool. Um, like in case there's something going on, like a road closure or whatever.
Hmm.
But for the most part, people are using their phones now for the weather alerts, road conditions, road closures. But yeah, it's
Hmm.
not like back in the day. There's a few people that still do it, but
Interesting.
I hear it's mostly trash talk. So
Hmm. Interesting. Ian says, does she have weapons?
we are not legally allowed to have weapons.
Okay.
That is
Corrado
my
says she has a
answer.
great personality. Annie says, my favorite lady trucker. Interesting. A YouTube channel. Is that an icon in the back? Am I Orthodox? It is an icon in the back. And my mother is Eastern Orthodox, born and raised. My Russian mother. Corrado says, I'd love to buy her a massage of her choice. See that? All you got to do is show up here and people buy you stuff. That's amazing. uh, Aaron says, what is your favorite food?
Favorite food. Um, I'm guessing beef, but I remember I used to love lasagna, but I haven't had that in forever.
Yeah.
Um, but probably beef.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Terrence Flynn says, do truckers get paid well? And I guess that's a relative term. The word well to one industry might not be well in another industry, but how would you answer that question, Kristina? Do truckers get paid well without mentioning numbers? How would you answer that?
It's all over the spectrum compared to like experience and what kind of things you're hauling, if you're specialized or not. Like to me, I'm struggling to make 40,000 a year. I don't think I quite made it 40 for the year I've
Hmm.
been doing this. So
Hmm.
And I think part of that's the company I'm with. They're just
Okay.
they're not giving me the miles. So I'm hoping with the smaller company I will be able to get those miles and get my yearly average up.
So you're not paid by the hour, you get paid by the miles. All truckers get paid by the mile.
Well, not all, but like the OTR people like me, it's
Okay.
cent per mile, so like I'm 43 cents per mile. Um, but depending on which company you're with, that's gonna fluctuate. Depends on how much experience you have. Um, I'm doing I'm doing dry van, but they have other uh types that you can do, like flatbed or reefer. That's the refrigerated.
Hmm.
They have oversize and tanker. So they have a lot of different things. Intermodal, that's like the railroad containers.
Hmm.
Um, so it all depends, and then it depends if you're like local, dedicated, OTR.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it just depends. But they say um they say the average is like 60,000, but not with this company. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but that's usually what they advertise for, uh, like a general average.
Yeah.
But it's not happening here.
Okay. Peg Bell says, good evening. Peg Bell is a regular watcher of the channel, faithful listener. She says, I miss the CB days as a motorist. I used to listen to get the bear traffic reports, also which lane to get in if there was a traffic backup. Okay. Patton says, does she ever want to settle down and have children someday? There's a
No,
question for you.
no kids. I'm not a mother. And
Well,
the other one I'll leave open.
I I know she does look like she's 26 to 30 years old, but you're not 26 to 30 years old. You don't have to give your age, but um,
I'll be
you are a
40.
you're a mature woman. I'll put it that way.
I'll be 46 pretty soon. So
Okay. Here's a question. Does she use chains on tires for winter mountain drives?
I have used chains once and it was not a pretty sight. It took me like 2 hours trying to figure it out on my own. Uh, that was an experience. I ended up,
Hmm.
like, I finally got them on, and then one fell off en route before you got to the part where you take them off. And so I did lose one, but for my
Hmm.
first time by myself, it wasn't too bad. They held on, but it was a big mess, me trying to figure out what the hell I was doing.
Interesting. All right. Matthew Hawk says, you and folks in your type of work, you and folks in your type of work will be crucial in giving the finger to the man via non-compliance if things keep up. I don't think people understand how important you are, Kristina. Be safe. Interesting. Joel Lewis says, I'm a police officer in Arizona and we love our truckers. Okay, so you are loved in Arizona.
Cool.
Uh, Raymond Barnett, the strongest man I know, says, Kristina, take care out there. George, keep up the good work. We'll collaborate someday. It'll be interesting. Yes, sir, we are going to collaborate. You're probably one of my, I'm guessing you're probably one of my first friends on this channel 5 years ago. The first people well, more than 5 years ago, obviously, 5.5 years ago. So yeah, definitely. I look forward to it. Ian Simmons says, are truckers paid more or less depending on what they haul? Now that's a good question. What do you think? Do you
I
get
would,
paid more or less depending on what you haul?
well, I asked a flatbedder yesterday if he was getting paid extra for all that hard work, because they have to strap everything and put tarps on, and he was saying $70 per tarp they would pay him.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know that I'd want to deal with that, because that's a lot of work in the wintertime, the bad
Sure.
weather, and you're constantly trying to make sure it's all good, because it's not like a dry van where everything's contained. You have to constantly keep an eye on it, make sure it's not shifting. And
What would you put a tarp over? What would you be hauling that you have to put a tarp over?
I forget what he had yesterday, but a lot of it
Like,
you would just you'd be covering it to make sure the elements don't get on it. Like say if you had lumber or whatever.
okay, okay.
But yeah,
Andrew
I'll see
says, go ahead.
I'll see people hauling like bobcats and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea
Okay.
what they get paid for that.
Mm-hmm. Andrew says, my brother-in-law bought his own tractor unit. He had to remortgage his house, but he earns more owning his own. Do you own your truck?
I do not. This is a company vehicle. Um, the channel I've been watching says it's a horrible time right now to buy a truck or a trailer. So they're saying
Okay,
to, to avoid buying right now because you will never make your money back for what's going to depreciate. So just
interesting.
hold on. Yeah, because I'm debating the whole owner op thing, and I just don't think it's a good time right now. So
Robert
that's
Forrest
something.
says, please suggest to her that she create a buy me a coffee page. So there, I guess that's another way of people like giving you money, giving you 5, $10 or whatever, that kind of thing. So I don't know what a buy me a coffee page is, Robert. Uh, let me know what
Hi,
that
Robert.
is. Send it to
Uh,
me. Email me,
we
Robert. Let me know what that is, and we'll create a buy Kristina a coffee page or something.
I remember having something like that in the military where you could buy someone in the services a coffee.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of that anymore, but they used to have that. Somebody would just randomly give you a coffee. It was pretty cool.
Now you served, right?
Yeah,
For how long? How many years?
I was in the Air Force Reserves for 12 years, and they activated me twice. So
And
once in
where did you deploy to?
Kirkuk, Iraq. I was activated for a year, but I was boots on ground 6 months there. And and
Wow.
then later that was a forced deployment, and then later on I went to Kuwait voluntary, and that was basically a supporting effort because that was a transition area for people going to Afghanistan. So it's like,
Okay.
that's where they land, like a safe spot before they go. So
So you've been in the desert before, and I'm not talking about the American desert. You've been in the other desert.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. 12 years of that. Did you think that you were going to be deployed, or did you think like, okay, it's just going to be weekend warrior going away once a month and getting some pay? Did you actually think that you were going to be over there?
Um yeah, I knew it was gonna happen eventually. 'Cause one, I was security forces, which gets heavily deployed, and well, it was 2006, so people were rotating out a lot. So like I knew it was coming, but it was still like scared to death. And my
Yeah.
dad's like, "Can I write you a note?" Like it was high school to get me out of it.
Right, right, right.
I'm like, I don't think it works like that.
Well, your academic background. Let's talk about your academic background. You have an academic background in a couple different areas, two or three different areas. One is criminal justice, correct?
Correct.
What else? Give us the other
And
ones.
the second one's biotechnology,
And the third
and
one?
then it's an Air Force degree. So that was in hospitality management, basically like for hotel and food management type thing.
So you have 3 degrees. You served in the military for 12 years. You were in the Middle East. You were in Kuwait, Kirkuk. Uh, where else?
Um, well, those were the two deployments. I have been to England as a 2-week tour thing,
Mm-hmm.
and Alaska. I did a 2-week deal there,
Mm-hmm.
and then several of our normal states, but those were like the big moments. Oh, I gotta put this phone on the charger.
Valentino says, "Wow, I'm 40 and I thought for sure you're younger than I am. You look young for your age." So there you go. You fooled everybody.
Thank you.
So that's why you get the question, are you going to settle down and have children? Because everybody thought you were a young girl. Interesting. Well, this has been fun. I know your phone is running out. Again, just always time talking with Kristina is good. Any last questions before we set sail? And you're actually not driving again until 9 o'clock tomorrow night.
Oh, 1 o'clock in the morning, not uh the next day. So
Oh, I
20.
see. I see. Interesting. How can people find you? Where can they
My
see? Tell us.
my channel's called RattLayItDown. I can put a link in there later if you want.
Okay, that sounds good. We'll do that. So you want to check her out. Her channel is Rat Lay It Down, as in the hair metal band Rat and the song Lay It Down. Rat Lay It Down, all one word. And how would you describe your channel?
It's a mixture of hiking, van life, and trucking. It's kind of just my life, basically.
Excellent. So it's like a life vlog, a lifestyle vlog kind of thing. But like right now, it's kind of like a trucker channel, so to speak, because that's what your life is about right now.
Right, I inhale and sleep trucking, so
Yeah.
that's kind of the subject now.
We have a lot of people saying thank you for your service here, and I echo that. Thank you for your service. 12 years in the Air Force is no joke. And you saw some crazy stuff. I bet everyone is wishing you safe travels. And with that, we will just let you go. Have a good rest of the night. It's almost 8:30 here, which means it's almost, are you 2 or 3 hours behind me?
I'm 619, so
So, all right. So about 2 hours. Yep. About 2 hours behind me. All right. Well, I can't help but say be safe, because it just freaks me out thinking that you're out there driving by yourself. But then again, that's the protector element in me. That's the man, that's the father, that's the just the older guy looking out for younger people, looking out for a woman kind of thing. So thank you for absolutely just a fascinating talk. Always fun, and everybody liked you, and appreciate your time, Kristina.
thank you for having me.
All righty. Good night, everybody. Good night, Kristina.
Good night, guys.